He lives in the United States of America. He is a product of the class of 1991, and he these days is the managing director of Tana Africa Capital, a private equity investment company owned by the Oppenheimer family and a Singapore shareholder. He's got extensive experience around the world in finance, investment, consulting, and having earned a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford University, he holds a doctorate in economics from that great institution. Let's put our hand together for Dr. Duncan Randall.
Evening, everyone. I think we'll stop that. Perfect. Evening, everyone. It's good to see all of you. Thanks, Matt, for the kind words opening up. And I've got the unenviable task of standing between 400 old boys and dinner, so I'll try and keep this short. But I do think it's important that we give more detail to the inspiring words from Dudley Ford on this initiative and what the background to it is and how it's been structured. So, we're very excited, the team that's been working on this, to launch this campaign. We feel that it's a once-in-a-generation campaign to build the Maritzburg College an endowment fund that will set it up for success as it heads towards 200-year anniversary. It's not far off the anniversary. As I'm sure all of you have seen over the last couple of days, the school excels as ever. It continues to provide a holistic education of very high quality that has impact. And in many ways, the school has also been strengthened by the fact that it's a much more diverse and inclusive institution than it has been historically and is better connected with South African society. The school has a much more boy-centered approach to education than it was in our time for many of us. That's exemplified by the innovative mentorship program the school runs. So in many respects, things are going very well. The school is in a good place, but the real challenge is the financial challenges the school is facing. And I've built a career in private equity over the last 20 years and have some experience assessing the financial strength of companies. And last year, involved myself a bit at the school and started looking more closely at the school's finances. And it became very clear to me in doing that the Achilles heel of the school is its very weak balance sheet. This is a school that, as we all know, is owned by government. The land and building is owned by government, which means that it's very difficult, it's not possible to raise debt against the assets, as any business might do with a strong asset base. Government also doesn't provide funding for major capital projects for the school that the school requires. The school operates on a very tight budget, which makes it impossible to build up cash reserves. And the subsidy that it gets from government in terms of its operating budget covers around 20% of the operating costs. The rest has to come from fees. And as a lot of parents in the community can attest to, there's been steep inflation in fees over the last few years, which is placing a lot of parents under pressure. The current endowment that the school has, which is the Maritzburg College and Old Boys Memorial Trust, has a capital base of around 27 million rand, but there's only 5 million of that's actually readily available. The difference is either tied up in bequests that have been specified in terms of how the funds can be used, or they've been provided as security for loans that the school has raised, that the trust has raised to fund capital projects that have been much needed. Now, I'm sure you all are the first to admit that, it's 5 million is just not enough for the school to take it forward. So that's the context to this campaign. The idea is to build a permanent capital base for the school of 100 million rand. And with that, we'll bring a lot of financial benefits to the school. Firstly, it will provide it with an asset base that it can use to raise debt and fund much needed capex. And I think for those who haven't been here for a while, you come and look at the facilities. The facilities are a key part of the Maritzburg College offering. And we need to maintain the standards there. And it's very important that we can fund capex going forward. Having an endowment also allows you to generate income from the investments of that capital that can be used to fund scholarships, which are becoming increasingly critical for the school to ensure that it can continue to give this life-changing experience of coming here gives, and to make sure that as many boys as possible who are deserving can have that benefit. I think for me, one of the key strengths of this school historically has been the fact that it draws boys from a wide range of economic backgrounds. And that for me is something which needs to be maintained to preserve the unique character of Maritzburg College. And that's the key benefits of having the scholarship fund. So given the campaign's ambition, it does need, I mean, it's 100 million rand, you know, it's a big number. It does need a different fundraising approach. And we've given a lot of thought to what would make this a very effective campaign. One of the key design elements of the campaign is what's called a matching concept. So the aim is to have 50 old boys each commit 1 million rand to the campaign. And then the campaign itself, for every rand that's raised by the campaign, the legacy donors, as we're going to call them, or as we are calling them, will collectively contribute 1 rand. So basically, the simple principle is that you're doubling your money. For whatever rand you give, it's being matched by the legacy donors, and vice versa. Whatever rand the legacy donor gives is matched by the matching donors. But the benefit is even better than that because of the tax deduction benefit. So the trust is registered, the foundation is registered for tax purposes. The funds flow through the foundation into the trust. So you also get the tax deduction benefit. So in simple math, for every 100 rand that you commit to the campaign, it's only costing you 55 because you get the tax deduction benefit. And the school is getting 200 because your 100 is being matched by 100. So you're effectively having a multiplier effect of almost 4 times every rand that you effectively give the school. Now, that for me, it makes this a very compelling investment. If you were looking at this just in pure investment terms, that the fact that it's multiplied by 4. I myself have signed up as a legacy donor. And in the lead up to this evening's launch, we've managed to secure the commitment of 10 other legacy donors. This is prior to the launch. This is just making sure that we have a base of legacy donors. And these include household names like Paul Harris, the founder of First Rand, and Mike Brown, who's the current CEO at Nedbank. They've both come on board. And we have other legacy donors both here in South Africa and the US as well. Now that we've launched tonight, we're going to go out in a concerted, wide-ranging effort now to really increase the number of core donors, of these legacy donors. So basically, just to end up, I mean, what we really want from everyone here tonight and everyone in the community is to become investors in the 100 million for College campaign. It's important to bear in mind, you'll see the brochures on the table. There's different categories that you can choose from. There's a lot of flexibility in terms of where you want to position yourself in the campaign. Payment options are also flexible. You can either do once-off or do it on a debit order basis. This is a 5-year campaign, so monthly debit orders are one option as well to spread out the impact. To give an example, the entry-level bronze donor is a 10,000 rand donation. On a monthly debit order, it's 167 rand a month to be able to be a bronze donor, which I think for a lot of people would be manageable, but that brings a sizable amount of money that's matched through this matching concept. So I mean, it's a call to arms. This is really the launch. This is a very special night for us. There's brochures on the table. We're going to have a table tomorrow at Goldstones as well. We have a website that's gone live today as well, which is 100millionforcollege.co.za. And I think lastly, I think you'd all agree that 100 million rand endowment is really a game changer for college. And I think if there's any time that you're going to give to the school, this should be it. Thank you very much.